opposite, like the opposite, like you're the opposite. So I try to make it, where else with him it's something completely different. So I agree. The strong one needs to carry the house and see it through.
I want to bring. Sorry, Pastor Wayne. I want to understand this from the brothers, because I remember there was a time. I don't know whether I think we're having a Zoom session with couples. You know, there were brothers who were very open enough to say, "Look, I felt a little bit inferior and insecure when I was not bringing more money in the house." You know, so in some instances, it's not always the ladies trying to be macho because they're bringing the bacon in the house, but sometimes some men also come with that perception, you know, to say, look, I don't feel like I'm effective in my position of headship since I'm not making the more than my wife. And guys, I just want us to chip into this. Is this really a true reflection of who we are? Or is that maybe also that thing that is influenced by those negative cultural beliefs? Nathan, I see you are here. I would love to hear your input. Zoelindai, you are here. I'm sorry to call you out, but I really need to get your input on this, because I don't think we only have to base it on, no man, women are disrespectful when they make a lot of money. That's why we feel insecure. Some people actually just come with it. It's something that says, I'm not making money, then I'm feeling insecure. Gents, can we chip in?
Okay, I can chip in. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So my thing is, I think the problem starts with how you define manhood. And for a long time in society, how people were defining manhood is that a man is linked to his ability to provide financially.
Yeah.
And so when a man can't do that, then he questions his own manhood and he feels like he's failing. So that is why men feel like the women are taking their position. They feel inferior. At times, they even turn abusive towards the woman because they feel like the woman is taking his place. At times, even women will tend to disrespect the man when he's unemployed because she's also operating within the same definition of his manhood is tied to his ability to provide financially. So even when the pastor was speaking, what we really need to discuss is the definitions, how we define manhood. And I think that will help us in terms of navigating through the different situations that we face in today's society.
It's such a challenging thing because, you know, what you're saying is very, very true. The definition of manhood, it's a challenging situation because when you look at the fact that some men have adopted that, you know, they've attached their identity to money. You know, this is why we were faced with the issue of violence, killing of girlfriends and wives and so forth, because we have attached our identity to money. And even when we're shelling these ladies, you actually use, you know, your financial muscles. You know, you bring the best car, you dress the best, you know, expensive. And when that money goes away and she goes with it, now you call her names, forgetting that that is what you actually sold to her. And if you sold that to her, now that is gone and she goes, you thinking, no, she's taken a part of me. Whereas in actual fact, you attached your own identity to money. And I think that is a struggle for a number of our brothers. Guys, let's chip in. I just wanna hear you. Brian Kabelon Zweli.
Can I chip in?
Yes, please.
Can I chip in?
Yes, Bob.
I hope I'm audible enough.
You are.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Good evening to everyone who joined. Hey, mine is a little bit tricky. So it's gonna be a comment, and then if I remember, I will have a question in the end.
Okay, ma'am.
Mine is tricky because we recently we got married about 3 years ago, 2017, with my wife, and then we did another wedding because she didn't recognize that one. So we did the traditional wedding in December last year. No, 2019.
So sorry, which one was not recognized? Which one was not recognized?
She didn't recognize the fact that we just signed in front of the pastor. Yet she has a certificate for it. I believe it's pressure from the family.
Okay. Okay.
But at least, yeah. So the issue is we stay. She stays in KZN, and I stay here in Pretoria. So the issue of finances, we still living separate lives, basically. As much as at times, like if we're visiting my mom, she offers to put petrol, sometimes she offers to buy grocery, and sometimes she would say, okay, I'm going to buy stationery for the kids this time, But to me, as much as I appreciate all of that, but I wish she can just have one commitment, which is a month-to-month thing. For instance, we have a bond. I have to pay the bond. I have to pay medical aid. I have to pay levies, rates. So the question now at the end is to everybody: what is the role of the woman financially in the marriage? That is the part that I'm still struggling with, So it's tough for me at this point to add any positive input because my experience is not a good one. Thank you.
In actual fact, your experience is not that bad. You guys are living far apart. So I think it should actually even be easier to work on your finances, if you're working, because there is still that element of individualism, even though you're trying to build this together. But there is still that element of individual. She's there with the kids. Whatever she makes, she takes care of the kids. Whatever you make, you send it to. You don't have much to actually take care of this side unless the rent, the transport. So you balance your situation. But we will talk about that. Your situation is unique, and to me, I think it's a bit manageable, especially since you're actually staying apart. Brian, let me come to you before I go to Kabelo. I need to hear from us guys. Why do we feel insecure when we don't bring more money in the house? Why? I'm not sure if Brian said, Kabelo, let me start with you, Mzi.
All right. Thank you. I hope you can hear me now, but as you can see, I'm on the road. But yeah, you can speak to me, Mzi.
I hope you are actually focused on driving. We don't want to put you in any serious situation right there.
No, I'm not. I'm only driving age, so I'm not so much on a risk. So yeah, we can have a chat. The first time that I feel that I need to focus.
Okay,
all right.
Let's do this. Pastor Wayne and Nathan, I want to bring you guys in here because I remember when we were chatting on Facebook, you raised similar issues. I know everything that Nathan shared on the Facebook in response to another comment. Pastor Wayne, when you called me, that is exactly what we spoke about. I think there needs to be a definition. We need to try and understand the definition of headship. But most importantly, let's define provision. We know that it is stated that the man is the head of, actually the wife. The Bible does not say the man is the head of the home. It says the man is the head of the wife. And that to me says in actual fact, it means the man and the wife are the heads of the house. That is how I take it. And if we understand that definition, perhaps the misquotation of scripture is what leads us to the misunderstandings. No, you are the head of the house. You must actually provide everything. But where is the reference to that? And I know that there are those who would say, even the book of Peter said that, he that does not provide for his own is more like an infidel. But it did not limit our ladies from their provisional abilities. So they were speaking to men at that time to say, guys, if you don't provide. But now, let's chip into this, Pastor Wayne. The definition of provision. What does provision exactly mean? And is it only limited to the husband?
No, not at all. Not at all. The Bible says that God teaches us to profit. Doesn't say he teaches them to profit. He says God teaches us to profit. It's man and woman, both. I mean, if you go to Proverbs 31, go and read it for the woman. It says that she's a businesswoman herself.
Hey, that lady was busy.
She knows how to. She was busy. How to do flex with her hands and make garments and sell them. So what does that mean?
She is a provider.
Really? A provider. She was a provider.
So it means the issue is with the men who don't take that very well when the woman is providing. Because we don't mind.
Oh, you don't mind. Wow. They don't mind.
I want you, if you can give me a minute just to address this question of what defines you as a man, because the brother brought up a very, very important question. The reality is that a man doesn't know who he is, and that's where the problem comes in.
Amen.
The problem is not the provision. The problem is that a man doesn't know who he is. Now, here's the problem. And I'm head of the men's ministry of Remedy. And what we try and do is we're trying to teach men who they are. So let's start at the beginning. Because if you don't start at the beginning, you will never get this thing right. And I like what the brother said. Man needs to know who he is. So he cannot define his manhood. That's the reason why he rapes little children. He's abusing his wife. He's hitting people.
He's insecure.
He doesn't understand who he is. He needs to start at the beginning. He needs to understand who he is in Christ. When he understands who he is in Christ, everything else will fall into place.
But I do believe, Pastor Wayne, that there is an element of understanding when it comes to, I don't know, I'm calling it understanding because a lot of men have got this belief that, you know what, I need to make sure that I make money, so that I can be able to provide for my family. But the issue comes with, even when you make a lot of money, you still struggle to provide, because now you've limited the issue of provision to only the money.
Because money becomes your God.
Oh, okay.
Because money becomes your God. Because even if you're rich, you can still be a very poor man. Because there's a lot of rich people that are very poor.
Yeah.
Let me do this. Nathan and Pastor Wayne, sorry, let me bring Nathan here because of time. Nathan, I want you to share with me, what's your definition of provision?
That's a very, very good question. Even if you go to the dictionary, right? Provision is just supplying of something. Okay. Right, that is provision. You are supplying of something, and I always even make this example. Back in the days in the villages, in the morning the men used to wake up, they used to go and hunt because they were providing the meat. So that's why they went to go hunt.
Yeah.
The woman did not sit at home. The woman went into the fields because they had to harvest, and they had to also go and pick the medicine. That's why when you find in our families, the women are very good when it comes to medication, because they used to actually get that, and they get the fruits and everything to ensure that we're healthy. So at the end of the night, when you're sitting down as a child and you're eating from that plate, both the parents have made provision of that plate. It's just depending on the skills of the family. Men are naturally stronger, so they can run faster. That's why they are assigned to provide towards the hunting. Women have the different set of skills in nurturing, and that is why they go pick the fruits and the medication. So both genders were providing. And so a lot of people, when you say providing, they're thinking of money. And I also want to extend this because provision is not just on a financial aspect. First of all, I believe you have to provide spiritually towards your family, both the man and the woman. That is the first thing. And the problem also with today's mentality is that I don't know if you guys watch Date My Family or a lot of these date shows, but the women are always looking for the money. They're never looking at, can a man provide spiritually?
Yeah.
Always looking at the money, and the money comes way after. Because if a man cannot provide for you spiritually, then you have no business entering a relationship or a marriage with that person.
That's where it starts.
So I would say that that's where it starts. The man provides spiritually, then he provides mentally, emotionally, and after those three, it comes to financially. So
did the ladies hear
the
that?
order of provision also is something.
Did the ladies
I don't
hear
know
that?
if they can hear that.
A man has to provide spiritually, mentally, and emotionally first. And well, it's evident everywhere. It's evident. There are a number of ladies who are living in mansions, driving the best cars and everything, but they are so frustrated because these three areas are not catered for. So if a man has to provide those three areas, what should a woman provide? Babundai, I know you've chipped in. I need to actually get those that are not talking. I know that people are here to learn. We are both live on Zoom and on Facebook. I need to understand this. Mr. Moabi, it's great to see you, sir, all the way from the US. Thank you for connecting with us. Now, we need to understand, what is it that women should provide? If we say men should provide those three important things, are women not supposed to be part of that? Perhaps Nathan, you might want to clarify on that so that we don't actually misunderstand your comment and the message that you're trying to put across. And it's very important, those three areas. Now, what should women provide?
Okay, so just to clarify on that, if you also look at how Christ went about teaching us, Christ is the head of man. And what Christ did is Christ came and showed us love. And what Scripture also then says is that we as men ought to love our wives.
Yeah.
So Christ does not require something from us without him doing it first, because he needs us. He loves us, then he expects us to also do the same. So as leaders, when we provide spiritually, our wives are supposed to also provide spiritually.
Okay.
When we provide emotionally, they're supposed to provide emotionally, but they are seeing it from us because we are leading. We are leading in those areas, they come in.
Let me interject there. Pastor Wayne, I'm going to say this while you're listening, my pastor. I don't understand why this man is singing, because he is very, very loaded with wisdom. and about relationship and marriage. Why he's single, it's something that we're gonna have to corner him after the session, so we can try
I'm not single anymore. Just so you know.
Fantastic.
I got married in December.
Wow.
Yes.
We're still gonna come and get the crumbs from the cake. That's fantastic.
Right.
No wonder now this wisdom is just flowing like that. We really love that. Yane, there are passengers I see here. Tell me, my sister, what should you provide? If I'm providing everything, then what should you provide? Is it a matter of my money is your money and your money is your money?
Not really. I'm supposed to be your enabler, to be that helper, to, two are better than one. So I bring that betterness into this union. I am now that additional person who brings with me that favor of the Lord. So I believe that when I come into union with that person, they should then embrace the whole of me, knowing that I am filled with everything to enable him. So my finances should not be an offense to this person, but they should see it as an increase, as multiplication to them. They have found help from the Lord, So, two are better than one. So if I am married to somebody, definitely there has to be a change. There has to be a difference. So if you on your own, you were able to take on thousands, with me, you can take on tens of thousands, So if you are still, we are together, but financially we worth like less than somebody who is alone, then come on. We should be challenged in that one.
That is where I want us to drive this to. That's where I want us to drive this to. And I see, Noma Bali, there is some movement there. I'm bringing you in after this one. I'm bringing you in. I just need to understand this. Because we meet with a number of couples who are in financial strains, and you realize that they're actually working together. And those that come with only one spouse working, either the husband or the wife, they can manage their finances well together. But why is it that when we have two streams of income, 2 or 3 streams of income, we still find ourselves in so much financial turmoil? We can't even learn to balance things. We can't even, we are so much in debt. But when you take the finances and look at how much they are earning, it's like you guys are playing. How can we help this type of people to try and create a balance in their marriages? I understand that first they need to understand the fact that, there's no individualism when it comes to finances. It actually starts from the top. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, even financially, there should be no individualism in marriage. As we work as a team, I think this is one comment that a lot of people have been mentioning. Communication. Let's communicate financially. I know that many of us, physically, we can communicate. We love to communicate physically. I mean, sexually. We know how to do that. But when it comes to the other part, the soul and the spirit, it's still a struggle to actually create that balance there. How can we help these people so that they understand that, guys, you can make it? What type of information, knowledge can we share with them? To say, look, work better on this. Work better on your finances. This is how you can do it. And I know that there are those that say, hey, now my spouse, when it comes to finances, I don't even know how much she makes or how much he makes. I have no idea. How do you help a couple like that to try and create a balance financially? Because they can have financial freedom. Who is here? I saw a movie. Sis Noma Pali, are you here or you're driving?
No, I'm here. I'm here. Puti. Thank you so much for the opportunity. If you know that that's going to be late. So I'm not too sure what has been covered so far. But for me, it goes back to that communication as well again. And also understanding the partners, they need to understand each other, the husband and the wife. And they need to be open with each other, because sometimes, I don't know why sometimes the other one feels that this one cannot know how much I earn. Or if I can put it like that. Don't know how to put it in English, but then in a marriage. And then, so for me, it goes back to openness, to communication, and also we need to sit down, all the husband and the wife, and say, these are our goals. And then also be open in terms of our debts. Sometimes you bring debt, and then the other partner is not even aware of those debts.
Eish. Yeah, ne? And one day you see Mashonisa coming through to take the furniture.
Sorry?
I'm saying you don't know each other's debts, and one day usahlezi on your couch and Mashonisa knocks and say, hey, I'm taking this couch, it's mine.
Exactly. And then also in terms of the savings as well. Like some, they have my own savings, my husband has his own savings, but we don't have savings for the family. And then those things are also, it becomes a problem. The other thing is where it's to say that, okay, normally when you'll be doing 1, 2, 3, and then the husband also commits on something else, and then month end comes or the date that they're supposed to commit, I just keep quiet. It also puts a strain on the marriage, because I don't know why you are not doing it, and it's not easy, and it's not nice all the time to say, hey, why did you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And then sometimes we as wives, we rather keep quiet, because I'm trying to maintain peace in the house, because they say, women, they talk too much.
I'm glad when my wife talks too much. At least she's talking to me rather than her going to talk to somebody else. I'll be very happy, So, and I think one of the most contributing factors to financial division is the issue of individualism. There's so much of individualism, and it creates separation financially. And I don't understand how we can be together in bed physically, but then separate ourselves when it comes to anything outside. Because that on its own, us coming together, that is why God says, the Bible doesn't say man and wife have sex. The Bible says he knew his wife. And if you know your wife, if you know the deeper, I'm tempted to say, can I go deeper on this? But when you understand the true definition, what God meant exactly when he says, you know your wife, that element of coming together, it brings the spirit, the soul, and the body in one place, and you guys become reverence to one another. But now, why do we allow finances to come in between us? How do I become one with my wife, but then she doesn't know that I've got a savings account somewhere else? She doesn't, there are parents who would even tell their own children, hey, you must have a secret account. He must not know, or she must not know about it. And that cultural influence with so much negative ideologies, it's what is killing us. But we can change from that. We can. Why can't we do that? Because we see it never worked. It didn't work for them, but they're still promoting it. Why can't we change?
Isn't it amazing in Genesis when God said, let us make man? God was never about individualism. Even when he said to make man, he said, let us make man, mankind, man and woman. It was always about Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the three of them together. And so many times we want to be on this individual walk ourselves, like you were saying. But God is saying, let us make man. It was about the three of them, the triune God, 3 in 1. And man and woman are supposed to be together, two, becoming one. Always working together.
Ideally, my pastor, this is why I say a lot of us are fully aware of what the scripture says. And we understand the importance of oneness. And we know that in order for us to prosper, especially financially, we need to work together as a team, not as individuals. But why do we still find ourselves in this struggle where, it's me, it's hers, it's hiding money, it's keeping that, and at the same time, the marriage is struggling. The marriage is struggling financially, yet God has blessed you guys with the financial resources to enhance your marriage. Why do we find ourselves in? I wish somebody can chip in actually just to let us know, guys, what is the problem?
Yeah, I'd like to chip in. It's Nathan.
Yes, Nathan.
So, just to answer that question, I just want to also chip in with the whole ideology of the woman who was spoke about in Genesis, where God was creating Eve, and a lot of people use helper.
Yeah.
Or another word for it is help meet. But if you look at the word help meet from the original version, which is the Hebrew version,
yeah,
then you understand that helpmeet actually means a helpful partner. You are not a helper, you are a partner. So that is why when things are done in the household, women sometimes feel like, no, I'm here to help. But the question is, I always ask women, are you helping him raise his children, or those are your children as well?
Eish. These are my kids.
And those are her children as well. It's your kids. Is it his home? Are you helping him build his home, or are you also building your home? So what also creates individualism is thinking that a woman is there to help a man versus a woman who knows that she's there because she's a partner. They are both partners building as one.
So you are saying the helpmeet term is also misunderstood. That's why it's creating these problems.
Yes, it's one of the things that causes the problem of individualism. Another one, to move to another point, another one is trust. I think a lot of people want to trust each other in certain areas and don't want to trust each other in other areas. Because they hear stories like, people will kill you for money. So you find a husband does a life insurance, but the woman doesn't know. And the man is like, I can't tell her because she's going to kill me. Because that's what you hear in the news, So it's something where it's like you can't really get married to somebody if you both don't trust each other, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to work within a marriage where you're supposed to work as one, but you're working as individuals because you don't trust each other in certain areas. When it comes to the finances, you don't trust each other. And so that's why you see that. So, and that's why there's no transparency. That's why the debt is hidden, or savings account is hidden. And I believe that in order for us to actually work as one, is to really trust each other in these areas. And if you don't trust each other, then a couple needs to go and find help to get to a point where they trust each other. And then the last thing is to develop the skill of handling money. You're not born knowing how to handle money.
Yeah.
You need to always invest in the skill of dealing with money. So if you guys are transparent, you trust each other, and you develop the skill, I believe as one, as a unit, you can actually reach your financial goals.
Let me pose this question. It's going to be a tricky one. Between men and women, I'm making it a competition thing now. Who is easier to rather seek help when there is financial challenges? I'm not talking about borrowing money. I know that, hey, borrowing money, whenever you want to rob Peter to pay Paul to pay that, people are good at that. But who is actually good in terms of saying, you know what, I'm making money, but I just don't know how to use it. I need help. And who has that skill or that meekness in them between men and women, just to say, I can do this because I need to get things right in my own marriage? You know, because a lot of people are failing, and there is still that individualism. Between men and women, are we good? Are we bad? Or is just an individual attribute? It's got nothing to do with the gender.
Can I tell you from my personal counseling? Can I give you from what I've seen?
Yes, sir.
Or would you like people to answer?
Please bring it through. Bring it through. Okay, let me do this. Steve, I really hope you were on our room, because I wanted you to bring your financial expertise in this. You're dealing with finances, and that's your profession. I would have loved you to join us in the room so that you can share with everyone actually that which you have with you. And to everyone who's actually joining us, thank you so much, guys. I know that we are not going to have enough time to cover everything that we need to cover, but we just wanted to share with everyone the importance of unity when it comes to finances. We cannot be good spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, but in finances we fail. That means those top parts are not yet in order. That's why there is still one that we feel like our spouse are not supposed to be part of it. Finances are a blessing. They're not supposed to be a curse. You know, finances are a blessing. And it doesn't matter who's bringing a lot of money in the marriage. I think we can all agree on that. It doesn't matter who's bringing a lot of money. The fact is, at least we have a source of income. God has at least blessed us, whether it's the wife or is the husband. At least we still have that source of income, and we need to learn how to maximize it. Because if we don't do that, we are always going to struggle. I know there are bad stories. There are bad stories, as Nathan has said, about people. Yeah, he was not working, and the moment he found a job, now I became nothing to him. He did whatever he wanted to do with the money. Or I was taking care of her, you know, when I was working, and when I lost my job, she started working. Now I became a useless man. She didn't want me anymore. We understand those stories, but we can avoid them. We can avoid them. It's simply a matter of a decision. If you love one another, if you respect one another, if you really have that deeper sense of commitment to the union, believe me, you can make it work. But we still have a problem with secrecy, financial secrecy. I don't understand how I can strip naked in front of my wife, but still have some finances that she doesn't know about. That is just me. I don't know why I can actually cry before my wife. I can just kneel down, pray before God and cry, and she is there. She can see my spiritual vulnerability, my weaknesses, my emotional imbalances, and all that. But I still feel like I'm not going to open up to her financially. For me, it doesn't make sense. And I don't understand how other couples actually get to do that. And they are doing it. That's why there is so much of frustrations. We need to tap into that. We've spoken about...
Can I say something?
Yes.
Can I say something about financial secrecy?
Yes.
This is Judith. Sometimes it's not in a negative way. Ne? When you've got a couple, the other one is a saver, and then the other one is a reckless spender. When the reckless spender knows that we've got 5 rent now, he wants to take the kids to spare. For me to take the kids to spare, believe me, there must be a reason. Someone must have received a merit from school or something like that.
Yeah.
So, or for us to decide that we're buying a couch, it's a year thing where we plan and save, and you know. But for sometimes a reckless spender will want to spend now. So I know sometimes when there's secrecy, it's not because you're hiding, but you're actually keeping it away from reckless spending. But also in case of emergencies, then you know that there's that emergency you can tap from. And I'm talking from experience. because me and my husband, I'm the saver, he's not. So most of the time, if I say I've got 5 rand, then tomorrow we'll be driving to Durban to the beach.
I wanna ask you this.
Sometimes I keep away the 5 rand so that when there's an emergency, then there's somewhere to chip from.
I'm tempted to ask you this, Osjudis, because I'm thinking at this point, what lesson are you teaching him? Should you not be there, right? What is going to happen to the finances? Because I believe if really there is a need for him to learn and to get clued up in terms of how to use finances, he needs to be involved. That is my thinking. He needs to be involved so that he can understand exactly how to use the money. Because for instance, if I'm the only one who's actually good with finances, and the day God decides, Muna, your days on earth are over, then what is going to happen of my wife and my kids when she's got no clue on how to use the finances? Shouldn't you maybe try and create a balance, get more information and wisdom and knowledge for him to learn to say, we are not always going to go to spare. We are not going to always go to spare. It doesn't really serve a purpose. You know, it's a waste of money. A beggar right now is 60 rands, you know, and that is about 5 loaves of bread. So, I mean, you create that balance and you share with them. And then how do you teach him to become financially wise?
Progress. It's actually work in progress, but yeah, it is work in progress. Like I give you a simple example. Yesterday they had to go to the mall to buy some few things. I actually had to call to say, hey guys, stop swiping. What are you doing at McDonald's now? Because we cooked lunch, you know. So, but it's work in progress.
Also, they swiped and you got the notification and you were like, hey, what are you guys doing there? I'm busy cooking.
The bed. Why are you buying McDonald's? There's lunch in the house. Yeah, but it is work in progress. And he just walked in. I hope he's going to join us. Okay. Thank you.
All right. No, thanks for sharing that. Yes, sir.
Can I ask you
there's a bit of noise somewhere, and we are not hearing what you say, my pastor.
Okay. Can I ask to leave the meeting? Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for the contribution. I'm still gonna sit on you. We're gonna have this session again. The issue of provision still needs more clarity on it. Still needs more clarity.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for connecting with us.
You can use the Zoom codes if you want to.
I will do that.
Okay.
Babundai, I hope you're getting something out of this. Because whatever that we've been sharing, it should in actual fact give a clear idea on how to work, even though you guys are far apart. It should give that a little bit of information.
Yes, thank you very much for all the inputs that people have brought forward. I liked the comment that was made by Usesina Mabali, even Osjudis. And I see a bit of myself on Osjudis' husband, because I'm also a spender. Yet my wife is a saver. We used to fight about the fact that she would be so obsessed about saving, yet we need to use money now. There are immediate things that need to be done now, you know. But at least over the years, I think we're getting there. But the thing is, when Chibos, that I didn't tell you, was the fact that I'm basically in a bigger house than her. I'm staying with my 2 kids here. And my wife doesn't understand that we need a lot of resources this side, because she's very close. She's close to her family. If she feels I don't want to cook today, I'll just pop by and visit my mom and my dad to get a nice meal. On the other hand, I have to make sure that I cook for my kids every day. Not every day, but everything is dependent on me, you know. So those are some of the frustration. but I got a lot of stuff from the inputs from the guys today, of which I'm gonna try and apply in my situation. Thank you so much.
I have one thing to tell you. Go and fetch your wife. Ungadlali kanjalo. Go and fetch your wife, please.
Hey, kudala ngizana. She made it clear ukuthi she's not gonna quit her job to find a job this side because we're gonna fight for money because I won't have enough to provide for her at this point in time. So it's a matter of waiting.
I wish and I hope she was in this meeting because Osislizi Nomabali, they were actually alluding to that. Even Nathan touched more on that, understanding the issue of provision. Yeah. While you guys are so far apart, who's providing for her sexually, mentally, emotionally, physically? Who's doing that? That area needs to be covered. That's why I say you need to be with your wife. You need to be with your wife. The devil is a liar. You and I are going to talk about that particular thing. Usis Olita is saying financial secrecy is another form of cheating. So people are committing adultery financially. How can we cap this? We need a solution. How can we cap this? How can we get it out of our systems? How can we find ourselves in a position where we know that, you know what, it doesn't matter who makes how much money. Perhaps the marriage contracts could contribute to this. Possibly, because there are people who are married ANC and they still maintain mine is mine, yours is yours, and some don't have accrual, whereby they are married ANC but with accrual, and whatever they get together, it's for them together. They still maintain that no, mine is mine. I'm protecting this from you anyway. And others are actually doing it for the right reasons. You know, they choose the right marriage contract for right reasons. Honey, you've got a bad credit record. But for now, what we can do, let's rather choose this marital contract. We're going to talk about it someday just so people understand this. But in most cases, it is the negative perceptions that draws us to have financial secrecy, to protect our finances. Again, maybe I'm living in another world. I don't think I can give myself to my wife physically, but still protect my properties from her. It doesn't make sense to me. Because if really she wanted to kill me, you know, husbands will know this. You know, it will be easier for them to kill us. Very, very easy. You know, but they are still here. They love us. Who are you married to that you are so scared that when you open up to her about your finances, she's going to kill you? I think we watch too much. What are those American shows that shows how people kill each other for money, for insurance, and all those kind of things? Not to say they are not happening. They are happening. But let's help couples understand the impact of oneness, working together as a unit, having goals that are aimed at enhancing the marriage and for the two of them, to help them get to that financial freedom. Believe you me, there are times when people come and I look at how much they earn, I'm like, yo, can we swap? You know, because I think it will work better this side, and you know, but you realize that in most cases, people put certain things first. Our priorities are not always the same. And when our priorities are not always the same, that is where we tend to have different visions. And that division, it's exactly what makes us to not have financial freedom. How can you manage? We left with only 30 minutes, and let's maximize it. Let's maximize it. How can we help each other, and even the single ones, to understand that when we get into marriage, we need to work together in every possible way. We need to work together. This is my prayer daily, to say we need to get couples to that level. But it's an individual decision. But friend, let's help our brothers. Osis Lizzie, right now, she is waiting, and She's got experience. I need to understand, hey, when I get married next time, this man must understand where I am, what I'm about, where we are going. This has to be a teamwork, because marriage is exactly that. It's just a team of one. It's a team of one. How can we help them get there?
Okay, people. I think it is a matter, or I think it's the spirit of the fear of the unknown in somewhere, somehow, of those financial secrecy. Because it means that someone that is got this strong point of management in finances, he managed to have that. You can see capable of having that account or those savings method. But I don't know how can it be so difficult to approach the man. I know for a point that sometimes maybe as men we are so stubborn, as if we are going to be led by our wives. But as far as I know, women are voting. As much as some are blatantly in things better, but they put that purpose of saving, of having something to fall on bad days. But as you said before, it is ununderstandable to be open in all other aspects, but you've got another door that is locked with no one knowing how to get in that door. That's why that other someone that commentator said it's like cheating. Because if there's somewhere or there's a room that your spouse is unaware of, how can I trust that there is no other besides finances that you are doing behind my back? So it needs openness beyond that we can do. But I think that the purpose of our background or how things were done, I think it contributed a lot of things. So we need to attend to these things, especially like recently, just like me and my wife, is the one that is so now and again alarming. Hey, we need to save. We need to create a platform. In that question that you posed before, but who's the first one to cry or to want to get help? On my side is my wife. She's so anxious about trying to save. Even though I understand the brother says sometimes what is the point of saving even though you know that there's something that needs to be done? Because sometimes you say, after I save 1,000 rand now, even though there's maybe someone in the house, there's no ceiling or whatever that needs to be done, but the other person is keen on saving.
I understand you on that, because even we need to communicate, we need to negotiate our savings, because there need to be a purpose for saving. Yes. You cannot just say I'm saving, whereas there is no purpose for that saving. And sometimes there is that fear of unknown, which makes us to say, let's save for the day of famine. We don't know when that is going to be, and it's good for that. It's good. But at the end of the day, if I want to save and she wants to spend, then we have to sit and negotiate. Why do you want to save? And I also have to explain, why do I need to spend at this particular time? I need to bring Nathan. There is something you said, and I believe Moabi is asking the same thing. I remember we spoke about it earlier. What do you do when the man was the only one with income? We used to have a joint account, our money, doing everything. But when she starts having her own income, now let's have separate accounts.
Yo.
Zweli is laughing. I don't understand why he's laughing. Nathan, are you there? Or let me bring Sislizi. For those that are struggling with sound, guys, we're gonna try and work on it. But I hope on the Facebook Live you can hear me. Some on the room are sounding a little bit far. That's why maybe that is what is happening. I'm waiting for Nathan. He said something profound about this particular issue, and I think we actually need to engage on it. Sis Lizzie, are you there? I want to hear your input on this one. I've been working, I've been taking care of my family, we've been having a joint account, and then the moment when you start having income, let me have my separate account.
As a woman, I'm the one who then says, let me have my separate account.
Yes.
That's too much. It's too much. You are selfish. That we as women, we have to really be schooled when it comes to this one. We do have men who don't mind taking care of women in every way. And most of some women, when they now get more money, they think now tables are turning, they want to show, you know, but it's just unfair on the men. You know, sometimes it's how they've been treating how the man has been treating the woman maybe while he was in charge. Now they're turning the tables around to say, okay, you know, so it means that if I used to ask for everything and you used to say no, and not because you are hearing my point of view, but just because you are saying no and you are just putting your foot down because you are the man, then when she now gets the money, she will reverse the tables, of which is not a good point, you know. She's just expressing a frustration. But I feel like when it comes to finances, most women, they're very, we don't mind to be led, guys. We don't mind. We want to hear your mind. We want to hear your vision, your plan.
And you just want to fall into it. You just want to
hear what
to
you want, what can support you. The problem is, Nina, you find that you don't even have a plan, you don't even have a vision, and you break our trust when it comes to finances. You understand? That's where you mess it up. And if, for an example, I was not working and you were doing things and I can see that medical aid this month is paid up, but the next month is not paid, the card this month is jumped, those things, they disappoint us. Then when I come now, of which is wrong, but I'm calculating from experiences you've been teaching me while I did not have the abilities to show this. You understand? So these things, they can break my trust. And another thing, when it comes to men, they are most of them, they are very stubborn. They don't take women who are strong-willed very light, you know. If I come and show you that, they take offense to say, oh, now that you are working, now that you have money. But who attributed this decision to money making? Because if I was given a chance, going to make the very same decisions if you had allowed me to have access to your money, Wayne. You understand? I was going to build, I was going to paint, I was going to do this and that, had you given me that opportunity. But you deprived me. Now when I have the ability to do so, you take offense, you know? So, hey, I don't know. I'm a woman, so I'll always blame the man.
For that comment, from what you said, that is really justifiable. I remember Nathan also touched about something that was in line with the seeds that we plant, you know, especially as men in headship. You know, if I am treating my wife bad because I am the one making the money, look, whenever she makes money, I'm gonna get the same treatment. I mean, you do as you will be done by. You understand? So and now you tend to say, yeah, no, you know, and you find that in actual fact we don't look at ourselves as to how we actually contributed to that. You know, and sometimes even in an issue like Usis Judith shared with us, you might find that there are people in marriages who are actually hoping, you know, I wish I could find a job so that I can do this and this and that. And sometimes it's not because the guy is bad or the woman is bad, but it's simply because they feel like at least I'll gain my sense of identity if I can have a source of income. And marriages are struggling in that way. There are a whole lot of contributing factors to this, but I think they draw us to one thing, that which is we need to communicate, we need to work together, even in our finances. We need to learn to understand the importance of oneness. Hey, This thing is very deep. Oneness. We need to understand, how are we supposed to become one? How are we supposed to do that? Because it eliminates a whole lot of things. Sometimes trust just comes like that. It's built on, simple things. You're open with me financially. I find it easy to open up to you, even if I had my reservations. But when I see that, she just put a income there, she sees, I can see what she makes, how she makes, she involves me every time. I'll be like, wow, you know what? This is where I want to be. The secrecy is killing us. We need to start talking frankly about money issues. I've seen many people getting married to people whom they don't even know what their financial status was. Example, over indebtedness, credit profile, defaults, etc. Money should form part of the premarital counseling. That is Olita Kuboni right there. I'm bringing them to you for premarital counseling, because that sounds like a counselor to me. So we're gonna bring you there. Sister Michelle, you want a man with a vision. A woman must also have a vision. You need to have a financial vision. We both need to have a financial vision. It's not about a man thing. It's about our vision. We get together, we sit and negotiate and discuss both our vision and say, this is where we are, this is where we are going, and how are we going to get there? Then we discuss how we're going to get there. We discuss the vehicle that is going to take us there, just to eliminate a whole lot of things that are not supposed to be distracting us from our marriage journey. A friend is married over the years. She complained about how the husband would utilize her money and she doesn't get anything from him. Is it wrong for her to open a secret account, as that's what we advised her? And Dina said that's what she advised this lady, because the husband, I think this is what Usis Liz was just saying, how he behaves when he's making money, he's actually pushing her to that. So this is how he is, and then I'm going to get my own money now. I'm going to be secretive about it. I think it's a matter of she's going to do as he's been doing. I believe so, and we just need to stop that. Sister Mbisile, please don't promote that. Yes, girl. Hi.
Can I chime in as well?
Yes, please.
Yes, it's Nathan again.
Yes, Nathan again.
Also, I think also one of the problems that contribute to the spouses not agreeing is because I think also men have been raised to make money. They always constantly hear a man is a provider, meaning that he needs to go out and make money. And so the only thing a man then focuses on, or the skill he focuses on, is to just make money. Not understanding that there's other skills after you make money. You don't just make money and then that's it. So that's why you have men just making money. As long as I'm bringing money into the household, it's fine. He doesn't care about the savings. And if you also don't have the skill set and the mentality of how money works holistically, then you are going to misuse the money. You are going to be a spender. And then to a woman, it looks like maybe the man is reckless and all of that. And it's because the man has just been told that all you need to do is make money. The rest, it's not up to him. And so that's why I believe that you find a lot of men who don't know how to save, who don't know how to use money in the long term, who might struggle also with the vision. And then it creates the problem where now a woman needs to have a different vision and open up secret accounts and stuff, because now she's in a marriage where one is making money, but he's spending the money as fast as he's making it. So it's also one thing that I can say, that as men, we also need to discuss how to make money holistically, so that when we are also leading our families, we can lead them in a holistic way and not just about making money.
We are taught to make money, but we are not taught what for. I think that is one of the things that even in this day, You hear a lot of guys saying, hey, Buffett, we must hustle, we must hustle. But when you ask, what are you hustling for? The only thing, when they buy cars and maybe buy houses, some, they're stuck. And then you find that they're just making the money, but they don't know what to do with it, and they end up using it recklessly. I think that is one thing that we also need to teach our hustlers, especially husbands who are hustlers. There are many husbands who are hustling and making money, but they are absent in areas that matters the most in the house. And we need that balance. We need that balance. You can't just go out and make money and thinking that just because you're buying her all the designer labels and cars and houses and everything, she is totally happy. Look, unless if her idea of marriage is only attached to that, to your provision, the definition of provision, then she won't mind. But there are those that need fulfillment in every possible way. You need someone who's going to be there. If we make money, we come and sit, we have to plan together, spend it together, do whatever we can together, save it together. We can do that. It is very possible. But the trust issue, most of which have got nothing to do with our own experiences, the two of us, it's got everything to do with the ideologies and the teachings that we carried from our cultural backgrounds or even from our friends. Show me. If you show him that savings account, I'm telling you, you are not going to have a cent. He's going to demand it. You must save it. Or else, the worst one that I've ever had, if he decides to leave you, Nabantwana, what are you going to do? You better have a private account so he doesn't know about it. People are teaching each other these things. And you find that those people have got no one to save money with. They have no one who's going to leave them. Nobody's going to leave them because they don't have anybody. They are teaching you that, you are taking that, and you're like thinking, exactly. There are people who are divorced and very matured, but there are people who are divorced and bitter. And what they're going to teach you, trust me, you will think after you have lost everything, that's when you sit down and think, yo, what was I thinking? Why was I listening to that person? And it's not only single people who give bad advices, even married people. There are married people who are just surviving and existing in their marriages, and they are planting negative thoughts in other marriages. You have heard them at the weddings. You've heard them. Indoda ayibuzwa ukuthi ibuyaphi. When he comes back at 10 or 11, when you just sit there and warm his food and brush his feet, and we know all these kind of things. And they are married, and they will tell you, I'm married for 30 years. They will tell you that. But now, is that the type of marriage that you would want? Is that where you want to be? Is that who you want to be with? So I think the few things that we can actually gather from what we've discussed today, we need to understand, if we need to master the financial aspect of our marriages, understand that you need unity, you need to communicate, you need to have respect for one another. You need to understand that everything that you do has to be done with trust. It's about the two of you. Have you asked people, even married people, what's your definition of marriage? What is marriage to you? They will tell you a whole lot of functional things. And in actual fact, marriage is just you and your spouse. Marriage is just the man and the wife. That is marriage. When God created that, that was marriage. There was no money, there was no businesses, there was no this and that they've acquired. No, that was marriage. Adam and Eve was the marriage. That was the marriage. And if we understand that just us, the two of us, we are the marriage, then we will learn to strengthen our unity. We will learn to trust one another, to work together, to do away with these negative beliefs and perceptions. Because many people fail in marriage before they even get married. She's not going to ask me a thing. I'm the man. I'm making the money here. Already, you have failed in that marriage before you even get in. Hi, Mina, when he gives me money, I'm going to hide it. You've already failed before you even get into it. So, guys, you can be financially successful. You can get financial stability. You can have that financial freedom. Even with one income, there are a lot of people working with one income and they are making it. Find out how they are making it with that one income while you got two and you're still struggling. Somebody said, well, it's a matter of how much you are making. I'm saying, hey, somebody can make 3,000 rand, the husband making 1,000, the wife making 2,000. But if they know how to work their finances, if they trust one another, if they work together as a unit, believe you me, they can still succeed. Somebody might say, yeah, you are crazy. What am I going to do with 3,000? Hey, there are people who are surviving with salaries of 1,000 every month. I am telling you, there are people. But how are they doing it while when are you struggling while making how many zeros? I don't know, 4, 5, 6 zeros, but you are still struggling financially. How did you get there? It's not a matter of making money. Like Nathan said, you are making the money, but for no purpose. You don't know why you are making the money. And you're going to make it, but it's going to create problems and troubles. So I'm saying to you guys, if you are that couple that you are having one or two incomes and you're still struggling financially, you don't know how to make it, we are here to help you. Just contact us. We'll give you the material to help you deal with that. And we're going to give you things that we have done so ourselves. You know, we don't give advice that we've never tested. You know how many people want to test advice on you? You know, they just say, hey, let me give them this advice and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to withdraw. There are people who are like that. But we're going to give you something that we have worked on and we know that it has actually worked for us. So just do that. We are left with 10 minutes. I'm opening the floor. Let's talk. Share with us anything that you would like to share.
Tama, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, bo.
Do you have like a financial spreadsheet in order to manage? So the question is now moving into more of practical ways of how you work as a unit. How do you manage the different numbers? I mean, there's so many numbers. There's medical aid, there's school fees, there's just too many things and too many numbers flying around. So do you have a financial spreadsheet, or you are old school paper and pen? or how, basically, how do you manage it?
Nathan, I'm only 40 years old, Munna. Hey, if you say old school, I feel very, 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 very old. You know, look, this is what now you want me to give away my financial nuggets, and I want to give it to you privately. So, in a nutshell, what we did, my wife and I, we actually brought our debts together. We have a spreadsheet. We created a spreadsheet. This, and we compared it to our they call it income and expenditure. Some of you know that the banks always say to you budget. So that is something that we actually created. We had to look at what are we spending per month, what are we getting per month. Now, how do we create a balance? And believe me, it looked very, very terrible, because what we were getting per month, it was so little compared to what we were taking out, you know. And so what we did, we had to prioritize. Those that actually join us on our Zoom sessions will tell you that we have shared with them the method that we use that helped us to be where we are. We are not where we are yet, but we are a work in progress, and we are happy with where we are. So what we did was that we had to get rid of 3 things that are actually putting people in financial strain. They're taking people's freedom. They're actually just systems that are designed to frustrate people mentally and emotionally. And we will pray and pray forever over these things. Those are: 1 is the credit system, number 2 is the education system, number 3 is the health system or the medical system. Those are the things that most people are spending their money on. they are spending their money on. You find that you have to pay medical aid that you don't use for the rest of the year. You only go to the doctor just to get your teeth shined. That's all you do. Why? You need to have a medical aid. Why? Because should something happen, that is the thing. Number two, even the education system. We spend a lot of money giving into the education system because we want what is best for our kids, but we don't teach them the wisdom on what to do and how to do it in order to function in this world. We entrust the education system to do that. This is the process that my wife and I followed. And we thought we are not going to spend thousands of money on education. We're going to give them education that we can see is good for them, and everything else we're going to teach them or they will learn as they grow. And it's so surprising that our boys are actually artists themselves and they are into that. That is what we're going to put our money on. We are not going to spend it on paying school fees, thousands of school fees, whereas we can invest in their soccer talents, we can invest in their artistic talents. That's what we want to do. So we had to look at those three systems, and after we got rid of them, that is when our financial position started to change. That's when we started getting better in what we used to do. So after creating the spreadsheet, we decided we are paying 20,000 for 5 accounts. Practically 20,000 for 5 accounts. Whereas out of these 5 accounts, one is owing 10,000, the other is owing 15,000, the other is owing 30,000. Then we decided this month we choose who we kill. That's how we killed our debts. We choose who we kill. We killed this one and everybody else waited. That's what we did. Next month we killed the second one, everybody else waited. We had to take calls or ignore them. Then that's how we managed to get to the top. And if I can tell you now, we are doing way much better than we were even previously. And those are the simple things that we did. Yes, you need to have the spreadsheet. You need to have something that tells you, this is what I'm getting, this is what I'm spending our money on. And you sit and discuss and negotiate how you're going to kill those one by one. Getting rid of debts. Hear it from me. I don't know if anybody works in this credit industry, guys. Hear it from me. You can do it by yourself without involving loans, without involving debt counseling, without involving all these people that are promising you that they can help you to do something. If you work together as a couple, you can win it. You can win it. Nathan, you've taken away my secret weapon, but I shared it with you guys.
No, sorry about that. I think you also had to kind of summarize it because of time.
Absolutely.
So what I request is maybe when you have time, we can actually then have another session where that session just focuses on those nuggets.
Yeah.
And actually maybe have also like a template of a spreadsheet. Obviously you will put other numbers, just for example,
Yeah.
so that people can actually practically see how are you doing it, how you moved from a place where you had debt, and how you removed that debt, and how you're in a better position. Because yes, there's others who might be struggling, but I think there's others even in this room who are now convinced that, we need to work as a team, but they don't have the wisdom in terms of how to work as a team. So I believe your nuggets will be valuable.
We will do that. Definitely we will have another session. And just the financial guru that I've been waiting for is here. I'm going to give him 2 minutes. Steve, I'm giving you 2 minutes. We are closing in 2 minutes. We're going to have another session, and it has been great to have you guys joining us and with all your inputs. And like you say, Nathan, we need practical solutions. Practical solutions. I know that when I say people used to work as a team, it sounds like, it's cliche, or maybe, hey, you saying that, but hey, you don't know my husband. Hey, you don't know my wife. She's not going to get there. She's not going to do this, or he's not going to agree to that. But we need the practical solutions. Mr. Shabang, welcome, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. T. And I've been following the conversations, but my phone was failing me. But I'm here now. Very interesting, topic, which I think is one of the things that I've been doing for all my life.
Yeah.
But as you were talking to the pastor there, I wanted to comment and I couldn't. But I must say that first thing which is very important is that we need to understand what marriage is. It's about bringing people to be one. Now, meaning to say that you discuss the whole lot of differences in there. You're just one thing. You are an empire.
Yeah.
Now, God has given us roles and responsibilities in that. First of all, let me talk to the man. In the Bible, it's very clear that a man is a provider, is a protector. But it's very important to understand to provide. One of the things that is very important is leadership. And I heard one of the speakers saying a woman is an enabler. Now, it's very important that we describe leadership in what sense, and to enable what. The issue of finance is an aspect of life which is not life in itself. Meaning to say, this empire must look at that matter as something that is very important in a marriage. Now you have a situation where a man must be able to provide leadership in that space. First and foremost, it's very important, because you guys were discussing about goals. It's very important that you have an empire goals. That is not individual goals. These will be family goals. Now, obviously, this are enabler to ensuring that those goals become a reality. Now, one of the most important things which I'll share as an experience, I did that. I did not read about it. I did that. It's very important that you sit together with your partner. You look at financing. I can tell you what, I think it was very difficult to get my wife to understand finances. Now, look, the thing, empire, and you're one thing, you're in a marriage. We don't have that thing, it's my salary, it's your salary.
Yeah.
It's our money. Okay. When we plan, the only difference might be, we find that a man brings a lot of money than a woman. That should not be an issue. Even the other way around, nowadays it happens. We look at this money when an empire, we plan together. Now a man must provide leadership in that space, and a woman must be an enabler, must be an enabler for that environment. Now, look, I find it very interesting that women can manage finances better than men if they can actually be empowered to do that within a family setup.
Yeah.
Now, as a leader, you provide that strategic leadership in terms of the direction of the family with the family. Remember, you're leading in that space with the family involved to say, this is where we're going, and you have to have everyone involved in that space. Now, who's going to make sure that these things happen is the wife. When I see a family setup, to me, it's like a company. A husband is the CEO. A woman is a COO. Now, if you understand the role of a COO,
what determines those positions? What determines the COO, CEO? what if she's bringing more money? Who's the COO? Who's the CEO?
I am the CEO. My wife is the COO. Now, there is no way a company should perform without the COO understanding where the company is going. Now, finance, like I said, the aspect of a marriage, it's very important for the wife to grasp it, to lead at her level in that aspect. Remember, she's a leader in her own right as well.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So it's very important. Just a quick one in seconds. To fast forward everything, right? My wife now does everything. She does the finances. I don't have to do anything. She runs the family businesses, both in terms of ensuring that the businesses run well and ensuring that finances are done correct. She's the one that is teaching me. I know this is a huge subject, and I just want to bring a message that if we get into a marriage and there's still, as you're saying, that there's individualism. There's no marriage yet. you don't understand what a marriage is.
Yeah.
A marriage is actually if we are one, and we can do away with those differences. And money is one of those aspects that need to be dealt with. Let me give you an example. You find that there's this issue of black tax, right? You find that I come from a family that is well off. I don't have an issue with black tax. My wife comes from a family with an issue of black tax. That issue is not an issue. Our issue.
Yeah.
We as a family, we must come up with a way to deal with the issue of black tax. Yeah. And I can assure you, it has been like my marriage where I've got black tax. She does not have black tax, but she's the one that was taking leadership in ensuring that we deal with that aspect. And we had a plan, a family plan, a household plan to deal with black tax.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that can create problems in a marriage, because now you'll be like, oh, you're doing this for your family, but when it's time for my family, you say we don't have money and stuff like that, because there's this issue of individual. And I think, Tate Machia, I so wish that there's enough time we can unpack these things from a professional point of view, and we can bring it together with the marriage part, so that people can see that financial freedom. Because most of my clients that I see, you ask a question, who seeks for help first? It's ladies, and they're even scared to tell their husbands that they're talking to me. And it's real, because as men, we are so proud. You see yourself as a leader. Now you can't seek help from another man, and just imagine if you know that your wife was seeking financial advice from another man. It's something that we have to deal with. We've got issues of pride, and we have to deal with that in a proper manner. But otherwise, thank you so much, Mr. T.
No, thank you, man, for the input. I know that you are dealing with this from a professional point of view. I'm even glad that you guys also have to deal with black tax and all those kind of things. And it happens. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for connecting with us. And once more, if you need that help, please be in touch with us. We'll sit with you as a couple. We will just take you through the process. It's easy. Trust me. You might think your finances are such a mess, you can't do anything, but there are practical solutions, those that are not theory, not those that you get everywhere. When you Google, they say save, do this. You've got no cent to even save, but you are told save in order to get rid of debt. That mentality is what is misleading us. So you can contact me. You've got my details. And to everyone who's been with us for the past 2 hours, we really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for your input. We are going to have this again. We are going to talk about this because we are so concerned about couples that are struggling financially, whereas they could actually just have fun. They can just enjoy their lives. The finances they make can enhance their marriage. They can travel. They can buy whatever they want to buy. They can invest. They can do that. But because there is still that element of individualism, separation, secrecy, no trust, they still struggle to get things done. So we can help you with that. Do get in touch with us. So I would actually close it in prayer, but I will pray for all of you. So I would say thank you so much for connecting with us and for all your input. We're going to have this again, Nathan. We're going to have it with practical spreadsheets and all, so we all can actually see it. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you for connecting with me. It has been such a pleasure. Are we going to close it? People don't want to close.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We really appreciate you guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's it.